So what is it that we have here today that requires Detective Max once again? I see. Hey guys, Max19, welcome back to another tryout. Today's tryout is on Condemned Criminal Origin. So it's getting around Spooktober time again. We're in like one of the last weeks of September. I think the last week of September is when this video is going up. And I like to do a very long Spooktober where I just do late September, October, November into December. Just cover the whole fall. And so here we are at the beginning with Condemned Criminal Origins. And this is a horror game, if you don't know. This is a horror game where you play as an FBI agent, hence the detective outfit, and they're suspected of a murder they didn't commit, and they're on the hunt for a serial killer. That's the sort of basic situation we've got here. I've played the first 2 missions. That's what I did, like an hour and 20 minutes. Played the first 2 missions. So I'm not that far, I don't think. I don't remember how long this game is, but I'm not that far into it. Just a couple missions, so it's about where. That's to give you an idea of what I've experienced so far. So the first thing I want to talk about here is that this game has a really, really great atmosphere. Like, just the sound design and the visuals and like how it plays light and dark and all of this like works together really well to keep you on edge. Not even just like the visuals, but like the way that like things are just portrayed, like the dingy places that you've definitely been before. They almost have a liminal quality to them, especially like you're in a train station, there's not a lot of people, and it's like, oh, this is a train station. And all these sort of like corridors, and you get what I'm talking about. Liminal spaces are pretty popular these days, and I think this game's environments sort of fall into that a little bit, playing on that in a way like that we were less conscious of back in, what was it, like 2006, because again, liminal spaces are really popular right now, so everyone is sort of discussing them. I have a feeling that back in 2006, maybe that was a thing they were going for, but they might not have used said terminology. I don't know. I wasn't there. One of the key standout parts that I think really ties together the atmosphere is how the enemies in the environment make noises, and you can hear them, and you can use those noises to sort of like pinpoint that someone is around, and even pinpoint like approximately where someone is. And that was something that I noticed a lot in like the stereo soundscape, was like, I hear breathing. Who's breathing? Okay, they're over there. All right, so I gotta be wary of that direction. It lets you, it sort of like builds the tension in a good way, but it doesn't like make it too much, if you catch my drift. It's a good atmosphere for this type of game. I think it's very, very great in that regard. In addition to that, I mentioned this game is from 2006 or whatever, but I think this gameplay actually holds up pretty well in a way that some other games that are that old don't always do. Like, it still feels pretty alright to play. You know, it's got some things, like not having a dedicated crouch button. You have to like use your interact key to crouch under things and that sort of thing. Like, that's a bit of a dated type of mechanic, but like it overall like doesn't detriment the experience. The vibes it gives me is sort of like proto, like Dead Island, Dying Light sort of thing, where you have a lot of weaponry that comes from your environment. You know, you can pick up broken 2x4s with nails in them, you can pull electrical conduits out of the wall, pipes, you know, stuff like that. And you're doing this melee combat that's all very satisfying, though it's sort of like, okay, physically, where am I? It's not perfect. There's a lot of times where I'm like, that person looked too far away to hit me, but they hit me anyway. But it's not on normal difficulty become a problem. It wasn't a problem on my little playthrough. I think I died one time because I just got hit a few too many times, but like, it's not difficult, and it's relatively intuitive, of sort of like short block, time period, and then a swing. and you can pick up guns and use guns, but it's a survival horror type game, so your guns are fairly limited. You have limited bullets. You can't even put more bullets into a gun. You're stuck with the amount of bullets that gun had when you pick it up. So like when that gun's out of bullets, if you want more bullets for your gun, you have to go find another gun entirely, and those sorts of things. It's very survival horror, but in this first person sort of way. Again, it predates like the sort of revival of Resident Evil with the first person horror, but it is sort of, I think, these sort of proto survival horror game type things. Again, like I mentioned, Dead Island, Dying Light, Resident Evil 7. I think those games may, intentionally or not, be inspired by what was done here in Condemned Criminal Origins, because I just think I can sort of see a through line of the genre coming from this point to that point, how this may have even been an innovator in its time. The most important thing, for me anyway, is that it doesn't get to the tension levels that things like Resident Evil got to me, so where, like, I think that, maybe I might need someone around because I can be a scaredy cat, but I think that I can probably play this one, I can probably get through it, because health items are pretty, not like overly common, but common enough. So far, weapons are pretty plentiful. I've come across guns several times. If you're observant, you will find the tools you need to open like gun safes and stuff. So like, I think that it's going to probably be not too tense for me to finish, which is something that I've mentioned in other videos about some games, is that if a game just is too tense, my brain will sort of like be like, okay, the only way to win is to not play, and just I won't want to play this game. And that's not going to be the same for everyone. Again, my sort of limit is as low as the first Resident Evil game. I think the survival horror and the like mechanics of having to like conserve ammunition and stuff, it's just to a point where like I can't, at least in my current state of self, deal with that level of tension. I think this is a good, like, slightly lesser thing. I probably will need someone around while I play it, because I'm a bit of a scaredy cat. There were at least 2 occasions where I just jumped very big while I was playing, and hopefully I've found those clips to put them up when I said I'm a scaredy cat. My last point here is my, like, one negative, and that in terms of visuals, this game is pretty dated. Like, you can tell that this game is from, like, 2006, and looking at the character models and the textures and stuff like that. Like, it looks like an early Xbox 360 game. That's just, what it is. That's not a problem for everyone. It's just sort of one of the things that can detract from the experience. And in addition to that, it has a flashlight, and for a lot of the time you're going to keep that flashlight on because you're walking through dark environments. And one of the things I've mentioned a couple times on the show is that vignetting around the edges of the screen can really strain my eyes and give me headaches. And so when you have the flashlight on, obviously it's sort of lighting a circle in the middle, and it's going to have that vignetting around the side of the screen, just by nature of what a flashlight does, especially in a video game. So like, I was getting like light like headaches playing, not like severe, just sort of like kind of giving me a headache. Like, I think I'll be fine to make it through the game, but that's just sort of, those are my negatives here. Is that it's a dated visual style. It's pretty dated, and I kind of give me headaches with the vignetting from the flashlight. Other than that, I think it's pretty interesting. I think it's got a great atmosphere, and I'm really interested to see sort of where this story goes. I think this, if I remember correctly, this is one of those like cult classic maybe horror games. These are one of those horror games that you frequently hear about when people are talking about like older horror games that were really good. So I kind of want to finish this and just, see where it goes and see what I can, if I can finish it. That's my hope, is that I can but see if I can finish it. And if you've been on the show, you know what that probably means. If I'm going to play more of a game, that means the Game Pass is tryout. I liked it. Again, scaredy cat, so who knows if I'll actually finish it, but here's hoping I'll probably get around to it someday. I forgot to mention, I played it on Steam. On PC through Steam. That's where I was playing it. I write it down intending to mention it at the beginning, but I always forget to mention it. PC on Steam, that's where I played it. Anyway, that's really all I had to say about the game. So let's get in the end of it here. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you dislike the video, hit the dislike button. If you go down in the description, find links to all sorts of places. I got a Twitter, a Patreon, a Bandcamp, a Redbubble, all sorts of places. Like I said, go down there, click the links, do what you do in those places. Leave a comment. Have you played Condemned Criminal Origins? Have you played Condemned 2? I don't think that's available on PC. Have you played either of those games? Have you played any other of these older, early Xbox 360 era horror games? Leave a comment, share the video, do the things, Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!